Hello and welcome to Think Retail Backstage Pass. I'm Dom Gaines, Head of Pure Play Retail at Google, and I'm your host today. Right now, hundreds of the UK's top marketers are on their way here to Think Retail, an exclusive Google event taking place here in London. We're getting ready to discuss what's really happening behind the scenes in retail today and how together we can show up in new ways. I'm really excited to give you a backstage pass. Now, we know that AI is changing the game for search and shopping experiences online. UK consumers are constantly searching, streaming, scrolling and shopping every day. They're predictably unpredictable. Today, we'll be sharing insights and tools to navigate this evolving reality. You'll hear from industry leaders, partners and creators who are rewriting the rules. So if you're considering rewriting some rules of your own, this is for you. Maybe you're watching this as a refresher, or maybe you're here with us for the first time. Either way, I'm so grateful you're joining us. I know you'll be glad you did. If any questions pop up for you while watching, you can get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. I'll then be meeting with Neil Jones, Head of Performance Media at Boots, to discuss AI innovation and what happens when you step out of your comfort zone. And I also get a chance to catch up with Google's Scott Sinclair to discuss how AI solutions can unlock unprecedented growth and measure true business impact. Throughout these sessions, we'll be discussing new ideas and strategies to connect with your next customer wherever they are. I challenge you to think along the same lines. How can you apply some of these tools to your own strategy before someone else beats you to it? First up, let's hear from Sophie Neary. Sophie, thanks so much for today. Amazing session today in front of everyone at Think Retail.
Thank you.
Now, we're at the Backstage Pass, and why is it important to bring marketers together for events like Think Retail?
Collectively, we employ 2.7 million people. It's 5.7 of the GDP. Everyone in Britain shops. It touches absolutely everyone's lives. And for us to bring marketeers and consumer goods companies together to help them understand how they can work with us to compete in a market that's never been more competitive, I can't actually think of fewer things that are more important right now.
How are users changing their way that they're searching?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I think is really incredible about Google is we've had Google search for 26 years. And the one thing that we've learned in all of those years is that human curiosity is limitless. What do we mean by that? Well, every single day, 15% of the searches that we see on Google are brand new. That's searches we've never ever seen before, which is just extraordinary, right? And I think what is really important is not just how consumers are searching in new and different ways, but how we're helping them search in new and different ways as well. So search was never meant to be words constrained in a box, but that's what you and I grew up searching with, because that's all the technology could do. Whereas now we can search what you see with Google Lens. Google Lens enables you basically to turn your phone and your camera into the superpower of Google. So maybe you like my dress, now you can search it and find it on Google. And one of the things that I love in the last few years that's come up is circle to search. So that's where you don't actually have to be on the Google app or using Google in your browser. You could be on TikTok, you could be on Instagram, you could be on watching something on YouTube. You can swipe up, you can circle whatever it is you're interested in, and then Google will go off and find it for you. So we call that multimodal. So let's say someone likes my dress, obviously it's quite pink. My favorite color is pink, but you want one with blue flowers, you could circle to search and say, find me a dress like this, but with blue. So we're seeing not just searches change in terms of how people are searching, but also people are using their voice to search. They're using a picture and then saying, I want to change the color on it. And we call that multimodal.
So the market's getting more competitive, users are finding new ways to search. How do marketers get ahead of this?
First of all, feel really confident, right? The good news is that Google has been developing the most incredible AI capabilities to help you harness and take the most of this opportunity. So if we go back to that 15% of searches are new every day, unless you're all in on AI, your adverts aren't going to show up for the searches that didn't exist yesterday or even this morning, right? So that's, first of all, something really important, really, really easy to do. The other thing that I think is really exciting is to think about how search is changing, particularly what I was just talking about with visual search. Think about all of the products that you have in your Google Merchant Center, making sure that your images are compelling. And again, you can use AI to put those in different backdrops and different contexts. And one of the things that's really exciting here is just how much we're seeing an increase in visual and image search. It's back to this advertising point, searching what you see. So when I first joined Google a year and a half ago, there were 12 billion, with a B, lens searches every month. Now there are over 25, and that's only going to grow. And surprise, surprise, we see younger people aged 18 to 24, they love visual search. They are much, much more lent in. And now 10% of all searches start with Google Lens.
And it's not just search, is it? YouTube is becoming an absolute powerhouse of discovery. So what do you think marketers should be doing on YouTube right now?
I think YouTube is such an exciting place, particularly for retailers. YouTube obviously is the OG creator platform, right? And one of the things that blew my mind when I joined Google is 46 million adults in the UK watch YouTube every month. Half of them watch it on a big TV screen and half of them watch it on a device. So it really, really is this amazing intersection where TV meets social media. And in Hollywood, they're calling it the new Hollywood, right? It's incredible. And the power of YouTube in terms of having content that creates culture, that connects with people is just extraordinary. I think in January this year, we announced it's now the largest podcast platform on the planet as well. So we have this incredible audience of consumers in the UK who are watching YouTube. 50% of the people who are watching it on a big TV screen, they're watching it every single day for half an hour. So it is the new TV as well. So that gives us an amazing opportunity, whether you're on YouTube Shorts, and 40% of people on YouTube Shorts aren't watching TikTok. So that's another amazing audience for you to extend your reach. But also, there's all the long-form content that sits on there as well. So you're able to show up with consumers, whether it's in short form, fast, scrolling through content, whether they're really absorbed in a long-form piece of content. But most importantly of all, these are adverts that don't just entertain, they're adverts that convert. And these products really, really work. So if you're not all in on YouTube, then again, all you're doing is letting your competitors go in there and take your customers out from under your nose.
Thanks so much, Sophie.
Thank you, Dom.
Now, here at Google, we use data and insights to help retailers compete and solve for challenges. So now over to Carla and Rose to delve deeper into some of those insights.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
How are you today? It's so good to see you. We just launched this new piece of research, really exciting results. I'm so happy that we partnered together.
Yeah, and it was such a fantastic brief to receive. We were really excited about it. So tell me a little bit more about some of the challenges and things you wanted to answer with this research.
Our starting point was this rapidly evolving competitive market that we are seeing right now, and our clients feel the same. So these new value entrants, as we are calling them, the international brands that have very tempting, cheap prices, and they are dominating the markets right now, and people are buying a lot from them. And I think the most important thing was, when we started to understand this, we realized there were not enough data in the market, so we didn't know the size of the market or the motivations behind that. And that was the main reason why we called you and we started our project. What was the most exciting or surprising thing about the results when you first saw them?
I think the biggest surprise for us really was looking at that number, how many consumers had actually bought something from a new value entrant in the last 6 months. I don't think either of us expected it to be quite as high as it was. So half of consumers saying they'd made a purchase, that was really surprising. And the fact that it was more than just Gen Z, that it was, people like families, even people on higher incomes that were somehow finding something interesting and exciting in what these brands have to offer.
Yeah, I was really surprised by this one because we always think it's all about Gen Z or people who are trying to save money, but actually it was much broader than that. So yeah, I found it really surprising as well.
Yeah, and I think it was really exciting when we compared them to like luxury brands on how tempting they were and how appealing they were. And I think there's something in that it's making people really excited and thinking about how they might shop differently and persuade them to think about these brands.
I know true, all these results are really fascinating from a consumer behavior perspective. But of course, when we talk about UK retailers, they will be afraid of the type of things these new value entrants are doing. So do you have any insights on, are they preferred brands right now? Are they the first choice of our UK consumers here?
What we learnt was there's still everything to play for here. So yes, there's 51% of consumers out there that have tried these NVEs in the last 6 months, but there's a healthy proportion that haven't, and they're still pretty cynical. And we were also seeing that, the amount of people that said these are brands, these MVs are brands that I'd really rely on, they're my go-to brands within a particular category. That was pretty low as well. So I still think there's a lot to play for, and they've been hugely successful, but there's still a long way to go before they're really convincing everyone. But how are you at Google going to use these insights to help your clients keep growing and getting even stronger?
Yeah, so I think first of all, in our Google data, we also know how consumers are remarkably open when they start their journey. So they rarely start with a brand in mind. So they're really, really open in the starting point. So this is good because it means they have a lot to play for. But also these new value entrants, they use a lot of AI and advanced tools to really win and cut through the customer journey. So we advise people to do the same. Our Google AI-driven tools will help them have a technology that is as good as their competitors. I think there are 3 main takeaways that I think are really, really important. So first one is about first-party data. So these NVs, new value entrants, they really use first-party data to inform their decisions. And they never think about one-off shop. It's more like a lifetime value strategy. So we really advise our clients to do the same and to implement this first-party data and lifetime value strategies to win, defend, and grow market share. Now, the second point was about cutting through the journey. So people are on Google and YouTube searching, streaming, scrolling, and shopping. So being able to show up and bring this excitement and during these moments, during the discovery moment. And then the third one is all about creatives. So making sure they are leveraging their creatives to fully capitalize the AI-driven opportunity. Thank you so much for this partnership. I think now our clients are much more equipped and they know everything they need to win.
Thank you so much, Carla. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
It's really interesting to hear about the latest insights in the industry and really hearing about the new developments, particularly with things like AI.
I thought the event was really, really valuable. It's not just ideas, but they're also backed by data.
There were a lot of things which just felt like you could definitely use in your day-to-day as well as like in a professional environment.
Come to these events, get some insight into maybe products that are being released or things that have just been released and going back with that information to the client. It shows that you're aware of the updates and what's changing and what's happening in the industry.
There's always 2 or 3 golden nuggets that you go away with. That's amazing. That totally changed your value. You're like, wow, how can I implement this for my clients?
You have to stay on your toes and adapt to the technology changes. The more regular these are, definitely go to.
I'm joined by Erica Probst, head of YouTube UK. Erica, congratulations on today's session. It was brilliant. The crowd seemed so energized. Did you enjoy it?
Absolutely. And thank you, Dom. I mean, it's always a pleasure to be on stage with some of our premier clients, having them showcase the results they're seeing on YouTube. So thank you. It was awesome. YouTube really sits in this kind of space of its own. It's somewhere between AV and the world of social. It seamlessly connects TV and mobile, it connects long-form content with shorts, and it pulls all that together into an addressable opportunity for advertisers. But really, if there's one thing that makes YouTube special, it's the creators, right? They are the DNA of YouTube. They have been since the very inception of the platform. And it is the thing that keeps viewers coming back time and time again for more and more.
Amazing. And how are you seeing retailers take advantage of YouTube?
Well, look, I mean, we're so aware that the shopping journey is becoming even more complex, and we're so committed to making sure that we design products and solutions to support that. And so really excitingly, this year, we're launching a bunch of new innovation in kind of 3 key categories. The first is creator partnerships, where we have just launched a whole series of new tools to make it easier than ever for brands to connect with and partner with creators to make content. The second is that we're making YouTube more shoppable. We're taking some of our most premium and immersive formats like CTV and our masthead format, and we're building in the technology to make them shoppable instantaneously. I'm so excited about that, speeding up the purchase journey. And then finally, I mean, let's talk about AI, right? And I know, again, in this moment of economic uncertainty, we're all being asked to do more with less. Our marketing budgets are getting smaller, but we still have to drive bottom line results. And that's where AI is table stakes. It can help you optimize across every outcome throughout the funnel, and it's gonna improve your return on ad spend. So I think in effect, it's gonna help you do more with less.
Great. And looking forward to the rest of the year, what are you most excited about?
Oh, without a doubt, I'm excited about our CTV shoppable formats. And I'm really looking forward to partnering with retailers after this event to help them build the strategies in the run up to peak. I mean, a shoppable CTV ad sounds like an amazing Black Friday moment to me.
Thanks so much for joining us, Erica.
Thank you, Dom.
The big change that we made was really optimizing our operating model. We had our media activity that used to be a media holdco for many years, over a decade. And we made the change to in-house our performance media operation, moving from a team of 5 up to a team of 26. And really that gave us a lot more kind of strategic control and really closed the gap between media activation and the trade and kind of commercial priorities of the business. So the big change we've made really is moving from a place where we were hands-on optimizing the activity regularly, probably too regularly. I think we were a retailer who wanted to kind of make super regular optimizations, and we were kind of putting our hands on the machine too much. And now we're at a point where we've really given the algorithm more control. We've stepped back, we've given it more room to optimize, and we've really seen the incremental benefit of that in terms of the revenue driven. Success to us really means incrementality. So yes, we've taken our activity in-house. Yes, we're seeing linear revenue growth, but are we driving incremental performance with the automation that we've really leaned into? And thankfully, through the different measurement tiers that we look at, whether it's econometrics or lift studies or search lifts, we're really seeing our activity drive incremental performance. For anyone starting a similar journey, my advice is simple. Really, it's about 2 things. It's about the operating model and the algorithmic performance. So do you have the right operating model in place to drive growth? And how are you really leaning into automation to drive that growth? And having those 2 things really combined should ultimately drive incremental revenue growth for your business.
Hi, we're joined by Scott Sinclair, our head of search. Scott, congratulations on your session today. Super interesting. The crowd seemed really energized. Just want to ask you a few questions. First of all, how are people searching in 2025?
People's search behavior is changing all the time. And of course, it's bound to. I mean, the scale that we're operating, 5 trillion searches a year is what we're kind of seeing on our platforms now. Of course, the ways in which they're changing, the ways in which they're searching is also changing, right? We've launched AI overviews, circle to search. That's really, introducing a new way of searching for our users. And of course, one of the key insights we can tell you is that those longer, more complex searches are really growing on our platform.
So what are we doing to help our customers take advantage of these AI solutions?
Yeah, well, it's of no surprise, right? We're putting AI into our products and our advertising solutions. I mean, you'll have heard we've launched a bunch of new ones. AI Max, for example, we launched at GML, where that brings some of the keyword list technology into our text ads. And of course, Performance Max is something that we've had for a number of years. I mean, just in the last year, right, we've made over 100 improvements to the back-end targeting that sits within PMax. So all of these AI innovations are really helping our advertisers win moments of discovery and moments of opportunity as our consumers are sort of searching across our platforms. We all know consumer journeys are unpredictable.
Predictably unpredictable.
Right, and so therefore, being able to win in those moments using AI, that's really how we're helping our advertisers win.
So how are you seeing this land with some of the advertisers you're working with on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, Dom. So I'd say everyone's really leaning in and adopting the AI-powered solutions, but the advertisers that are really sort of setting themselves apart are, of course, the ones that are embracing what we call a demand-led philosophy. We talked a lot about it today. There's really this idea where the budget follows the demand as opposed to operating in a fixed budget environment. Again, you'll have heard from Sophie up front today where we talked about the shop front. Would you really shut your shop if there was customers outside ready to buy? And that's what we're really talking to you about with AI finding many more opportunities for advertisers to win in these moments. That's the philosophy and that's the idea that many advertisers are leaning into and they're winning with.
Great. So many opportunities for our partners to go after.
There is.
The biggest thing to take away is a complete shift in consumer behaviour.
We've kind of gone into a new era. I think it's kind of a new phase of like AI evolution, and it's very integrated.
Even if you've not made changes yet and it's not part of your strategy, this will give you a lot of information of how to take that approach.
Some of the demonstrations that we've seen today have been really eye-opening, really, in terms of the ways of changing assets and creative, which can be quite labour-intensive.
There's some amazing tools like LLM No, AI podcasts, and also how to integrate, the user experience for shopping. If you don't adapt, I think you're going to be left behind.
What a day it's been here at Think Retail. We've seen how retailers can connect with customers, compete effectively, and convert profitably using Google and YouTube's reach, trust, and AI-powered tools. Now, it's over to you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and key takeaways from what you've seen and heard today. Feedback is a gift. We really appreciate if you could fill out the feedback form and let us know what you thought of this video and what you want to see next. Well, there you have it. Thanks so much for joining us at Think Retail Backstage Pass. Until next time, that's a wrap.